first teaching, so I take 2 or 3 minutes for me to break. Amen. Amen. Anybody getting anything?
Amen.
Man, it seems like we've been in chapter 1 for a year. I think we got 12, 13, 14 chapters to do. That'll be a couple of years or so. All right, we ready? Yes, sir.
Oh.
Oh, man. Now I guess we need to proceed. Thinking of Prophet Apostle Ward.
Oh, we waiting for you to read now.
Yeah. Hold on, let's start all over again. Let's start all over again. See, you see how perpetuate how someone can get you off? Because of what she was doing off, now it got Apostle Ward off. And Vicki just down there laughing. She off. So we're gonna start the class all over again. Amen. See, that's internalized formalization. See, she internalized what she was doing. Then Apostle Ward began to formalize it, became a truth to her. She began to own it, so she hollered across their friends, disrupting the class. And Prophet Vicki just started laughing. So the lesson is unfolding right before us. So what's true to you might not really be true. It's true for you. Amen. I'll deal with her after that. Amen. Yes, sir. Amen. We're going to deal with what we deal with now.
Number 3.
Amen.
Materialize. The point at which ownership reaches a level of finesse and a high subconsciousness activity, it is usually evident in some tangible form. This is where the principle begins to materialize and takes over one's reality.
Wow. This is the third step. Third step of this process. And it's that point at which ownership reaches a level of finesse. It means that it's so high until, listen to the word he used, high subconscious activity. Listen to this. Nothing's yours until it goes down into your subconscious mind. Nothing's yours. See, what happens is the mind consists of 2 parts. It consists of a conscious mind, which right now we are conscious of everything that's going on around us. But then the second part of the mind is the subconscious mind. See, what happens is this. The subconscious mind is when you repetitiously do things and it goes down in you and becomes a part of you. It's just, for instance, say you took a trip to DC one time. More than likely that second time you go back, you're still not going to really know that route the way you want to. But if you take that trip 5, 6, 7 times, you no longer need the GPS system. I can go right there. See what I'm saying? What has happened then is that something has left your conscious mind and has now become a part of your subconscious mind. And that's when you're thinking, you don't even have to think about it no more. It just becomes natural. He said when we get to that point of materialization, is that it becomes so a part of you that the subconscious activity is so high. I mean, it's just like when I said in these settings, I could, stuff just starts coming. A lot of this that just comes out is nothing that I studied, nothing that I sat down and meditated on. It just started coming because the subconscious activity is so high. You know what I'm saying? When he started talking about the bread and the wine, he said it's somebody that gave out the Melchizedek. The subconscious activity became high. And because now you caught me out in the street, actually, and I said, wait a minute, I'm going home and check the notes. But the subconscious activity is so high, you know, because I've done this so much now. Now I'm in that materialization stage until it's a part of me. Nothing's yours till it gets down into your subconscious mind. That's what dealing with the soul. The soul consists of two parts. So if once it gets down in your soul, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. You know, that's who I am. If someone goes out and steal one time, that's not really a thief. But if they keep doing it over and over and over, it becomes natural.
Right.
Even if they have money for it, they start stealing. You see what I'm saying? It's a high level of subconscious activity. It's who you are. Amen?
Amen.
And this is what materialization at that point they get to. It's something tangible starts to come, starts to form. Something tangible means something you can put your hand on. Something that you can put your hand on. You say, that's kingdom. That's kingdom. You start looking at everyday situations and you start to see the kingdom in them. I think my wife got an email or a text from Prophetess Veney. She started talking about how they was doing this in the social service department. Everything was based around that number 6. You could divide 6 in it, or 6 could be divided in some kind of way. You started getting a high level of subconscious activity. You start looking around you, wait a minute, it's never jumped off the page before. But because now you have a high level of subconscious activity going on with that teaching, it's down in you. And now you start to relate to it. Amen? Yeah. You start to see it. You say, man. People say, oh man, you driving that nice 2015 LS46 Lexus. You say it's nothing but bread. It's nothing but bread. It's the bread. It's the bread and wine concept. It's the bread concept. It's just a material blessing that's added to it because of the kingdom. They'll be like, what are you talking about? You said yeah, it's nice, but you just say it's just the bread. Opens you up for a teaching moment. It's all Prophet Veney did an awesome job teaching today. You say it's just the wine. It's just the wine. What do you mean it's just the wine? It's just the Spirit of God flowing through me. That's the wine. That's the wine concept. Bread and wine. So I thought that supposed to do, we do that with the communion on 4th Sunday. No, it ain't got nothing to do with 4th Sunday. Got to do with what has been restored to us. Amen? That's when you start materializing, you start to see things. And this is what the area that we're about to move into. We're about to move into a high level of subconscious activity that's going to start producing things. Being able to begin to take control of our circumstances, being able to maneuver and do. When I was coming on yesterday, Prophet Veney, he spoke to me. You know what a prophet was known as a seer. You know, a prophet used to see things in advance and all like that. But see, they didn't have prophets in the garden.
Right.
They didn't have prophets in the garden. Adam had all of these active in his life.
Right.
So when we start getting back to the original intent of God, everything becomes the same.
Right.
When the prophet just prophesied to me, the Holy Spirit already did it. See what I'm saying? Get back to the original intent. Adam didn't need a prophet to come tell him what to do.
That's right.
He had to engage God at that level. When we start there, we stop esteeming these positions and these titles. Going back to God life. I was like, oh, I never looked at it like that. That's how that was. It's already in you. All the prophet doing is just telling you what God is showing him about you. But when God wants to speak to you about you, he'd rather he'd rather talk to you. You don't need me. See, if I can tell you that, then you won't follow me. If I follow me, what you follow the Spirit of God. Follow the Spirit of God. He tells you this. Don't come here no more. Follow the Spirit of God. He'll never lead you wrong. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.
B.
It says, can I do a bit more? It says also, this is where the principle began to materialize and take over one's reality. listen to this. A principle is a law. It says this here, it begins to check over one's reality. Now, what happens is, then when God starts showing you things from the home country, and circumstances around you are telling you contrary, you are now at a level to say, I believe God. That's what that means. You have matured to a level to say, I believe God. And I'm telling you, a lot of people haven't got their breakthroughs, haven't got their healings, and all of these things is because they choose to believe the reality that's before them rather than what God is telling them. God would never go past your belief system. When you reach this place, materialization, His heaven's reality becomes yours. That's what we talk about. We talked this a couple months ago. We talked about a miracle. A miracle is when the laws and principles of heaven override earth's reality. All God waiting to you is believe Him over what you see, what you hear, what you feel. He wants you to believe Him over that. And all of a sudden, materialization kicks in and takes place. It's a mind game. That's all the enemy does. It's a mind game. Amen? Amen. Any questions?
Probably. What you was saying a while ago, was this this is considered the law of I am when you
It's coming up next.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's coming up next.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'm coming to it. Amen.
Amen. B, every core driving point of culture we examine requires these three processes in order for us to successfully own a spiritual principle or truth. In the kingdom, you can only manifest what you are. Nothing else.
Listen to this. You can only manifest what you are. What he's talking about, you can only manifest what you believe. Only manifest. Me and my wife live in the same house. Can only manifest what she believes. She can only manifest what she can't manifest what I believe. So that's why it's good to be here together, so we believe the same thing.
Amen.
Two chords are not even broken. See what I'm saying? You only can manifest in the kingdom what you believe. It's what you believe. So you take these teachings and you apply them to your life. I can apply them for you. You see what I'm saying? That's why we learn it. We're on a course. We're on a roadmap. We're on a course. We're going to see. I shared a dream with Apostle Wood. You remember a while back I shared a dream with you. You was looking, you wanted manifestation right then. And God said manifestation will come on His time. That dream I had concerning her and things like that. That's a point in time. Prophet, right? It's a point in time. You know, through that process. And we get on that side of that process. And we're going to see the manifestation. And people get weary and well doing and say, man, I've been doing this for 2 years. I've been in religion for 25 years and you ain't seen nothing. You're going to step away from the kingdom after 2 years. You ain't got to have that mess up with you. Amen? Amen. That's where we at.
Amen. In the kingdom, you can only manifest what you are, nothing else. This is the mindset and the law of I am. See, I am is the now factor that governs kingdom operation. Everything the kingdom has for you is now.
Now. Listen to that. Now. There's a scripture that says that, let me tell you what it comes.
That was a king.
Kingdom that adds up to the days of Noah. Where they be riding and drinking, giving away to fun. And Dr. Monroe posed this question one day and it blew my mind. He said, was Noah waiting on the rain or was the rain waiting on Noah? He said Noah waiting for the rain. Was Noah waiting on the rain Or was the rain waiting on Noah? This is the person. Everything God has to do is already done. The rain was waiting on Noah. God's place and position is already in place. That's what the I am is dealing with. Everything with God is I am, is now. So guess what? Where you're not at now is not because of God, it's waiting on you.
Right.
That's the law. That's the law I am. What God has showed you that has not yet manifested is not because it ain't already in place. You got to get to that point of where it's released. So you can't blame nobody but. And it's not so much a blame. It's just further on in that process. Thank you, Holy Ghost. It's not a blame. Forgive me. Wrong teacher. Correct teacher. You got to keep going into the process. Noah was not waiting on the rain. The rain was waiting on Noah. As soon as Noah finished the ark, what happened?
Rain.
So Noah had a meteorologist in his ear? No. God already had the rain in place. He was waiting for Noah to finish his process of building that ark. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is God will show us things. By now, all of us here should be seeing some things. We should know parts of our destiny.
Come on now.
And He's showing us these things. And our question shouldn't be, how long will you take? I'm waiting on you. No. God, what do I need to get to that process? That place in that process to receive this. It's already in place. I am. He said the blessings are now. Everything that the kingdom has for you is it's now. Well, somebody got something to say.
I just want to share the scripture that I live by now. It's Matthew 13:52 in the Message version that goes along, and many of you know it. And Jesus is talking to the disciples. He said, this is Jesus talking, when you see how every student well-trained in God's kingdom is like the owner of a general store who can put his hands on anything you need, old or new, exactly when you need it. Now.
The best is not yet to come.
That's already happened.
Amen.
Everything it's like an illustration of a painter. A painter does not paint a picture off the top of his head. He already got the picture in his head. He starts painting backwards. He already got it. The picture's already there. He don't just start stroking that brush and figuring out the picture. The picture's already painted in his mind. So what we've seen is what already been there for a while. Same way with God. How can He show you things 20 years in advance and you walk in them 20 years later, if it ain't already now? Understand that the kingdom is in a different dimension. It's not governed by time. It's governed by eternity. So when we start engaging God, Ms. Smith, on an eternity level, He says 6 weeks of chemo to cure his cancer. God says now. It's now. It's now. But we can only materialize what we have formalized. So if we formalize the truth that it's going to take chemotherapy, radiation, and all that to get rid of cancer, then that's our pattern. But we understand everything is now. That's why we gotta keep following on into this process. Any questions? It's now.